All right. Hello, guys. Here we go again. Chapter 12 test reviews for the regular Chapter 12 test. All right. So first question, I will give you a graph. Okay. And the graph will be a line, and the line will have 2 points indicated. And then I'll give you 4 answers as to which the following is an equation whose graph is parallel to the line drawn on the graph at the right. So if they're parallel, then that means slopes are the same. So you take the 2 points, calculate the slope, and then you have 4 answers to choose from. And basically, you're looking for y equals mx plus b. You're looking for this slope to match m. And one of the equations is in slope-intercept form. The other 3 are not. You're going to have to change them to slope-intercept form to answer the question. All right, that's the first question. You got to remember this video, so I'm just going to erase because you can stop and pause and go back and whatever. You don't need to keep up with me. All right, next question says identify the equation whose graph has a slope of 3 and a y-intercept of -1. So you're looking for something that looks like y equals 3x minus 1, or can be changed that. Again, some of the equations will not be in slope-intercept form. You need to change them to slope-intercept form to figure out what the correct answer is. All right, next question is a word problem, okay? In the word problem, it says you've got a mail carrier, and this is like UPS or FedEx or something. The price for an overnight delivery of a 1-pound package is $7.60. Same service for a 5-pound package is $15.80. We want to find how much it would cost for an 8-pound package. We don't know that, okay? So if it's a linear function, then that means what? That means, again, y equals mx plus b. So you have 2 points. You have 1 and 7.6, and you have 5 and 15.8. So you take those 2 points, find your slope. That gives you the m. And then take the slope and plug in one of those points to find b. And that will give you your equation. Once you have y equals mx plus b, then you plug in 8 for x to find y, which is the cost. Okay. Word problem, but it's really just a graphing problem. All right. My grandson's having fun. All right, next question. I'll give you 4 equations again. They're all in slope-intercept form. It says, which of the following is the equation in slope-intercept form of a line that passes through the point 4 and 0 and has a slope of -3/4? Okay, well, again, you got y equals mx plus b, okay? And so you plug in m, you plug in -3/4, and y you put in place of the x, and 0 you put in place the y, and solve for b, and then rewrite the equation. Pretty simple. All right, next question. Says, which of the following applies to the graph y equals -x minus 10? And each of your 4 choices, it has m equals something, and it has y-intercept equals something, okay? Well, m is whatever's in front of the x, which in this case would be -1, okay? And then y-intercept is whatever comes after the x, which in this case would be -10. So you just find that answer. Pretty simple, okay? All right, next question has the next couple of questions have to do with vectors, okay? If vector v is 4 and 5, remember we can write a vector as an ordered pair, and vector W is 1 and 6, then find the coordinates of 3 times vector V plus 2 times vector W. Okay, so you're just going to do, basically it's going to be 3 times 4 and 3 times 5 plus 2 times 1 and 2 times 6. Multiply this, add it to this, multiply this, add it to that. That's your answer. All right, next one. You got 4 points. A is 1 and 4. B is X and -6. C is 5 and 2. And D is 3 and 6. We're going to find X if vector AB is parallel to vector CD, all right? That means they have the same slope, okay? So basically, I'm going to find the slope of vector AB using the slope formula, okay? I'm going to find the slope of vector CD using the slope formula. So this is CD, this is AB. So basically, A is 1 and 4, so we got 1 and 4. And B is X and -6. C is 5 and 2. D is 3 and 6. Okay, so 6 minus 2 is 4. 3 minus 5 is -2. So that's -2. I don't know if you can see that or not, okay? So this gives me -2, okay? In this case, -6 minus 4 is -10 over X minus 1. So that means that -10 over X minus 1 equals -2. So basically, we're just solving the equation, okay? So cross multiply, got -10 equals -2 times X minus 1. So -10 equals -2X plus 2. So subtract 2 from both sides. -2X equals -12. Just divide both sides by -2, and that gives you your answer. Number 9 is another vector question. And the next question. Vector V is 5 and 2. And vector W is -3, -2. We want to find vector V plus vector W, okay? So that's pretty simple. That's just going to be 5 minus 3 and 2 minus 2, okay? Pretty simple. All right, another word problem. Okay, a river has a current of 0.5 miles per hour. Vladimir can swim a rate of 2 miles per hour. How does the current affect Vladimir's speed and direction as he swims across the river? Okay, so basically, so you draw a river. Okay, so we have the river. The river is flowing. Okay, and the river is flowing at 0.5. Okay, and he's swimming at 2 miles per hour. Okay, so speed and direction. So speed would then be this thing right here, okay? So speed is going to be Pythagorean theorem. This can be the square root of 2 squared plus 0.5 squared, which is going to be the square root of 4.25, okay? 4.25. So obviously it's going to be 2 point something, right? So you can do that. And then of course it's going to be this angle right here, okay? And so that's going to be basically the tangent of this angle equals 0.5 over 2, or the tangent 0.25. And so my angle is the inverse tan of 0.25. So you go to your calculator and find the inverse tan 0.25, and that will give you the answer, okay? All right. All right, next question is into a sphere. Okay, remember the formula for a sphere is x minus I squared plus y minus j squared plus z minus k squared equals r squared. Okay, so the center is at 3, -4, and 2. And the radius is 8. So I plug in 3 for I, -4 for J, 2 for K, and 8 for R. And then simplify the equation, that gives you the answer. Pretty simple. All right, next question gives you 4 sets of points, 4 sets of 3 points that says determine which points are collinear, okay? So like if I give you point A, point B, and point C, then you find the slope of segment AB and find the slope of segment BC. And if this equals this, then they're collinear, right? Or you could graph it. If you want to get a piece of graph paper and graph it, you can have a piece of graph paper. You could do that. But basically, you just go through. If the first one doesn't work, you go to the next one and so on. So basically, slope formula. Pretty simple. All right, next one basically gives you the vertices of triangle BGF. Okay, vertices of triangle BGF. E is -3 and -1, and G is 4 and -1. And F is 3 and 3. And it says determine an equation of the line containing the altitude from point G. Okay. So what you need to do is graph these, okay. So you got point F here. B is -3, -1, that's here. G is 4, -1 is here. So basically, your equation looks something like that. We want an altitude from point G. So point G is here. So an altitude has to be basically perpendicular to this segment, okay? So what you do is find the slope of segment BF. And the altitude has to be perpendicular, so the altitude has to be the opposite reciprocal. Okay, my board is sliding on me here. All right, so you find the slope of segment BF, and then the opposite reciprocal gives you the altitude. I think I'm going to change colors. It's getting a little bit hard to see. I just threw away one marker. All right. All right. Next question. The last question. There's also a bonus, obviously. And I will tell you that the bonus probably works best with a piece of graph paper. Give you a little hint there. All right, last one. I have triangle WXY. W is -6 and 1. X is 1 and 1. And Y is -3 and 5. And it says, which is not, emphasize this is not, which is not an equation of a line containing the median of triangle WXY. All right, so basically, then I need to find some medians, okay? So again, you might want to graph this. That might be a simpler way to do it, would be to just graph it, okay? You should have those points written down. So I'm going to erase so I can get a graph on here. We had some questions like this. This is a little tough one, but make sure you show me your work. If you miss it, you'll be okay. All right, so we've got W is -6 and 1, so W is right here. And X is 1 and 1, so X is right here. So they're both at 1, which means this is a horizontal segment. Okay, that makes it easier. And then Y is -3. 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so it's up here. All right. All right, so determine which is not an altitude, not an equation of a line containing a median. Okay, so median is to the midpoint, all right? So think about this one for a minute. All right, so this one's a bit of work, okay? But it says which is not. So in other words, there are 3 medians, right? So median goes to a midpoint. So I have something going from here to here. If this is a midpoint, I have something going from here to here if this is the midpoint, and something going from here to here if that's the midpoint. So you need to calculate all 3 midpoints, okay? A lot of work here. You need to calculate all 3 midpoints. And once you have the midpoints, you can find the slope from here to here, slope from here to here, slope to here to here, and you should be able to eliminate one of the answers along the wider set. So a little bit of work. That's a fair amount of work. But give me some work. Maybe you'll get it right. Okay. Again, a bonus. So graph paper would be very useful on this test. So work through these problems, finish all the problems, have it all up, have all this stuff worked out on your review paper, and you should be ready for the test. Good luck.